clean up here. Good to see you guys. Good to see you guys. We are going to get rocking and rolling here in just a minute. I'm going to make sure that I get all my stats here. That I see you guys. Some of y'all are watching on different channels. If you guys are on Facebook, let me know. If you're on YouTube, let me know. I'd love to know where you guys are at. Welcome. All right. Let's get rolling. If you guys are a first timer, I would love to know if it's the first time. If you guys are a veteran, let me know if you're a veteran. I'm just trying to get this rolling, making sure that I see y'all, and we're gonna get rocking here. So, hope everyone's having a good week. Let's see. Sweet. Sweet. I don't know how my computer's doing. All right, am I sounding good? If I'm cutting in or out, let me know, please, you guys. Or if I'm sounding loud and clear, let me know loud and clear as well. Um, Everything's moving a little bit slow on my end, so I appreciate y'all being patient with me here. I'm trying to find y'all. I'm not seeing a lot of stuff here. Okay, sweet. All right. I think I'm having technical difficulties. I can't tell if you guys can hear me or see me or anything at all. On my end, I'm rolling real slow. Uh, Can you guys hear me? Can you see me? Let me know. I got nothing here. It looks like there's 5 of you guys that are tuned in, at least, from what I can see, but I can't see a comment or anything going on out there. Um, yeah, I think ideally I might have gotten it, but all right. Let me know in the comments if you guys can hear me, if you can see me, if you're tuning in live, let me know. Let me just get a little bit of feedback. Um, I feel like shit's broken on my end, and I can hear my computer sounds really hot. So I want to make sure that I'm coming through. So I'm not seeing anything here working. See? Okay, microphone sounds far. This is why.
Okay, so you guys should be able to hear me better now. Let me know if that helped. I see some comments coming through now. Okay. Sweet. Sweet. Okay, cool. We got Gus. What up, Gus? Okay, good. So sounding better. All right, sweet. Let's rock and roll. I think it's working good enough. So we will get the show on the road, and it seems like everybody's here. I'm sounding good. Let me just make sure I plug these tags in here real fast, and then we'll rock and roll. All right, sweet. Sweet. All right, so I wanted to run on a little bit of, I'll call it a rant. I don't know if it's necessarily a rant, but maybe we could call it a rant. Just something I keep seeing with reps that are dealing with issues. And this comes up with the business owners we're working with too, because a lot of the business owners we're working with, y'all sometimes, I love y'all, and this is coming from a place of love. Y'all want to cut corners. Nobody's watching you. You're running laps around the lake before practice like you guys got to, and y'all are cutting the corners. And it's natural to want to get there with less work, right? It's natural, but there's this idea that Seth Godin talks about like the long cut. We don't want to take the shortcut, we want to take the long cut, because that's how we're going to get to where we really want to be, where we really want to be is in a state of mastery. That's where we really want to be, right? We really want to have control, we really want to feel mastery, and we want to find ourselves in that position. So this is where it's so crucial to be aware of where you're placing your focus as you are going through this process and as you are playing this game. Where are you placing your focus as you're playing this game? That's what I really, really want to encourage you guys to be aware of and to consider. And I want to actually ask that question to you. Like, what are you guys focused on right now as you guys are playing this game? So I would love to know that. Drop that in the chat. What are you focused on as you're playing this game? As you guys are trying to grow your high ticket sales, whether you're a sales professional or you're a business owner and you're trying to drive revenue, you're really focused on this. Like, what's your intention? What's your focus as you're playing that game? Cool. Their goals, I like that. That is a good focus to have. Who else? What you guys got? What are you focused on as you're playing this game? That's the question that I'm posing to you guys. And if you guys are catching this on the replay too, drop it. If you're on the replay, if you guys are live, drop your response. So what are you focused on as you're playing the game? Someone said their goals. What is your take on that? See what y'all got. Where are you focused as you're playing this game? Is it on your prospects' goals? Is that where you're focused, or what's your focus? 10K plus a month, earn respect of better people. Interesting, right? Interesting. So 10K plus a month, earn respect of better people. Interesting. So this is what happens a lot, right? And 10K plus a month and earn the respect of better people is a good example here, right? Become a master for them to understand them. Sweet. Become a master. Value first. Cool. Cool. Good, 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 good. You guys have really good answers. So I'm going to read off the answers here again, one by one, and then I'm going to go through my thoughts on this. So the question was, what are you focused on as you're playing this game? And some people said their goals. We got 10K plus a month and earn respect of better people. We got become a master for them, understand them, value first, sales second. And these are all really good answers. So generally, as I'm going through this process, I'm coming from a place of just genuine curiosity. I am obsessed with, addicted to, and I absolutely love learning new things. And so in talking to prospects, you can learn so much about what's going on and just have a lot of fun. And so I really like to understand too what makes people tick. And so my whole intention is really to just understand in the beginning, like, what do they want? And I'm trying to understand them as much as possible. And it's this place of curiosity that when we start from a position of wonder, when we start of a position of genuine curiosity, like you just want to understand this person's worldview. Just like if you've ever seen a good interviewer, the difference between a good interviewer and a bad interviewer. A bad interviewer doesn't let the person get a word in edgewise. The bad interview is one where the interviewer's answering the questions that they're just asking. As opposed to a good interview, really the best interviewers, you almost don't even feel them or see them or hear them because they're allowing the other person to communicate at the highest level, and they're really just getting out of the way. And so that you'll find in sales, it's very similar, right? We want to just kind of get out of the way, and we want to let them get to their desire. And so we're identifying that desire, and the desire is going to do the work for us. And so if we just look to really, 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 really understand this person, like, what's their communication style? Where did they grow up? Where did they go to school? How do they view the world? If they vote, how are they voting? What are the values that are driving their decisions? What's their family look like? What do they want? What do they have right now that they don't want? And I really, really look to understand this person, and I can signal to them, look, that I fully understand you. That's where everything else opens up from that point. Right? And so coming from a place of just genuine curiosity is going to get you guys a really long way in this. Partly because you're also going to come from a place where you just want to practice the skills. You want to master the skills. You have fun playing the game. You have fun talking to people. You have fun going out into the market. You have fun picking up the phone. You have fun text messaging people. And you just look at it as a game. That comes from this place of genuine curiosity and genuine wonder. And the more I can get y'all to just love to learn and be excited about all the opportunities to learn, grow, develop, to better understand what's going on out there, and to better understand how the market's moving, to better understand human beings, what makes them tick, to better understand sales as a whole. The more I can get y'all excited about that, because that's where the fun is. That's where, when we follow and we dedicate ourselves to playing that game, that's the game that really rewards us in the grand scheme of things and in the long haul. Sweet. So I wanted to see if y'all had any questions for me today. I do want to give y'all a little bit of an opportunity, because a lot of these calls, we're doing a lot of live training, and also we're doing some dials, but sometimes some of y'all are not in the programs, y'all haven't gotten a chance to do very much of an AMA style thing. So I did want to give you guys an opportunity to ask any questions that you had today, and I'm happy to answer. If you guys want to ask me anything, I'm happy to answer any questions that come to mind for you about just sales in general, my perspectives on anything, my perspective on the markets, niches, anything at all. I'm happy to answer that. So feel free to drop that in the chat while we are here and we're rolling. But that was the main thing I really want to drive home for y'all, is that it's the place of curiosity and just genuine love and interest in people and interest in the sport of this. That's the thing that's going to get you guys the furthest. So love the game. It's a lot of fun. Play it all out. So what do you guys got question wise? Is there anything that y'all want to break down or discuss? Okay, cool. I see a good question here. So Michael's question is, how do you make the prospect believe that your solution is right for them? And I see another good question here, which is it a good practice to follow up on what the clients do after they sign up to keep them on track? Okay, cool. Good. You guys got good questions here. So let's talk about how do you make the prospect believe that your solution is right for them. Okay. Well, I'm going to answer this in the inverse. And a lot of times if you guys are trying to understand things, invert the problem. It will help you understand it a lot better. So let's invert this problem here. And I just want to give you guys a heads up too. I might have to run a little bit early today. So if I do, I'll give you guys a heads up. But I may have to run a little bit early today. But okay, so how do we get the prospect to believe that the solution is right for them? So how do you not get the prospect to believe that the solution is right for them? 3 things: confusing, unclear, boring. This is something I learned from Mark Ford, they created $1 billion newsletter business selling financial newsletters, and he's a genius in direct response. But if anything's confusing, it's unclear, or it's boring, generally your prospects will check out mentally and emotionally. They're just going to disconnect. And so that's what we're looking for. And I want to remove anything that comes off as confusing, unclear, or boring from my pitch. Now, the ways to do that are, we're going to have to simplify the pitch in the first place, because there's something called working memory, and our minds can only handle so much information and can process only so much information at a given time. So with the working memory limits and the constraints of working memory, what we need to do is we need to design our presentation to generally be explained as either one big idea or as a series of 3 to 5 steps. Ideally 3 to 4 steps. If you could get it into 3 to 4 steps, it's easier for the brain to remember it. So you break it down into key 3-4 steps. That's a big part. And then the other thing is, anytime I can explain something with a metaphor, the mind naturally understands metaphors, and it piggybacks on pre-existing ideas. And because we're piggybacking on these pre-existing ideas, it increases the believability by increasing the familiarity. Also, if bonus points if you can use a visual metaphor, because visual metaphors, so vision occupies the majority of the brain, and by using a visual metaphor, we're going to be able to take neural synapses and take more neural synapses and make them fire when they believe or when they're thinking about what you want them to think about. And so in doing that, it's going to embed this idea a lot deeper, and it's going to make it more believable because it's easier for them to recall the idea. So that's some advanced neuroscience stuff that you guys can put into practice. But really what it boils down to is keep your pitches simple, keep them short, 3 to 5 points, 3 to 4 ideally. Use metaphors when possible, especially use visual metaphors, right? That's how you really get them to believe the ideas. The other thing is, always be sure to ask them why and have them justify why the product will work for them. So that is that there. If you have any follow-up questions on that, please do feel free to ask Michael. I'm happy to hit anything and come back to that on an AMA. So let's see. Is it good practice to follow up on what the clients do after they sign up? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. It's great practice because there's likely opportunities for upsells, there's likely opportunities for referrals, there's likely opportunities for cross-sells. There is a lot of opportunity. Now, if you're in an ecosystem where perhaps you're not supposed to do that, then it's a different story. But if it's just like a Wild West thing right now, I would absolutely stay in contact with those clients because those people are some of your best referral sources. So if you stay in contact with happy clients, you also can get your own screenshots by asking them, hey, how has the program been for you? And when you post that proof in those screenshots, you'll get clients that come back to you. You'll have follow-up material to go back to other clients with. So yeah, by all freaking means, follow up with the clients after they sign up. Definitely do that, and definitely try and help keep them on track. It goes a long way. Is it okay to pitch someone when I make the initial reach out if I wanted to start telemarketing for more leads? I need a little bit more context on this, to be honest. I need a little bit more context. On follow-ups, you mentioned texting, but I'm not getting many to transition from text to follow-up call so I can follow up and close. On the first call, do I schedule or pitch? Oh, okay. So I get this question now. Is it okay to pitch someone when I make the initial reach out if I wanted to start telemarketing for more leads? Like on the first call, do I schedule or pitch is what they're asking. Okay, cool. That makes perfect sense. Absolutely, you can one call close all day long, right? So it's going to depend. You got to be able to read the room. Generally, there's certain communication styles. If you're dealing with drivers, you likely will want a one call close. Some people may want to warm up to you. You just got to kind of get a sense of how fast of an action taker this person is. Some people just shoot from the hip and ask questions later. So if you get the vibe that they're that kind of person, by all means, you can one call close. Now, with outbound, what tends to happen is outbound, you have a little bit of a barrier of trust. When people are coming inbound, there's more trust. When you're going outbound, there's less trust. So this becomes an initial hurdle that we have to bypass or that we have to work around. So one of the ways that you can build trust through outbound is by delaying the sale or by having more connections and then saying you're going to do something and doing that thing leading up to the sale. So there are times that it's to our advantage to delay the sale on an outbound game rather than just go for the one call close. But if I read the person and I can tell they're like one of those types of people that's a gunslinger, I will pull the deal for sure. So on follow-ups, you mentioned texting, but I'm not getting many to transition from text to follow-up call so I can follow up and close. So if you're not getting, first of all, I guess I would want to know what the data is, actual data. So how many texts are you sending or how many leads are you working? How many of those leads are moving to follow-up calls? How many of those follow-up opportunities are actually converting? I want to know that data before I say anything because sometimes you just feel like it's not working, but it's working. So the data will do the talking and we'll be able to figure it out better if we do that. So if you have that, pull that up and we can work through some of that stuff. Yep, good. Yeah. So they said, yes, awesome, this is good. I can tell in their voice we can build a good rapport and I can gather data. Do you do voicemails on people that don't answer their phone? Yeah, I do. Sometimes it just depends. Most of the time I try to. Sometimes if I'm moving really fast, I won't. It just kind of depends. So if I'm ripping through my CRM, which sometimes I will, I won't leave voicemails. But it's good practice, especially if people have a pre-recorded voicemail, like a legit, hey, this is so-and-so, I'm not here right now. those people will probably listen to the voicemails. So that's definitely, if you can leave one, leave one. The thing that you get with the voicemails is you get a lot of callbacks. And so if you're going to play voicemails, you got to be ready for callbacks. And so, usually what I would do is, if you're going to have a voicemail drop go out or something, like, you want to be around for the next couple hours for people to call back, because that's really where a lot of those conversations come in on. What other questions you guys got, you guys? Like I said, I want to give y'all an opportunity to do a little bit of AMA today. So what other questions do y'all got? Give you guys maybe a couple seconds to get some more questions out. If there's not any questions, I might run a little bit early today. Like I said, I got a couple things going on, and I could use the time. If you guys got more questions, I'll hang out and I'll answer any questions you got, and then I'll probably wrap whenever we're done with questions today. Okay, cool. I noticed that when you're on the phone, your tonality is great. How long did it take for you to get your tonality that way? It took me a long time, but it doesn't need to take a long time. So one of the things that I've gotten really good at is helping reps get to that place a heck of a lot faster. And it took me a really, really long time to get to this. And the reason is because there was no actual set formula in how to create the type of tonality that I wanted to be able to create. So almost everybody makes the same mistakes when they get started. So most people, they come in too excited when they're speaking, when they just start getting started in sales. And so we tend to have a thing that we do where we pitch up when we want to be nice. So if we're like, hey guys, how are you? And we'll start to pitch up, which is like a fucking telltale sales guy thing. So if you talk in your normal voice, which, like, this is like, if I'm talking to my family, this would be the voice that I talk to. Be like, what are you guys, you're a goofball, like, what are you talking about, And this is just my normal modal voice. And you want to start in your normal modal voice. And so one of the reasons my tonality seems so good is because what I do actually is I create a big window for me to move in. So one of the reasons why, when you start, if you're pitching up, so if you generally think about it, like when we talk to babies or puppies, you pitch up really high. So it's like, hey, there's a puppy, oh, so cute, right? So we're really nice to these things. If we want to threaten or scare someone, we're going to talk in a low voice. And so we tend to have this thing that, if I don't want to, no, right? Or, oh, yeah, awesome. You notice how I'm pitching up when things are positive and I'm going down when things are negative? So this is a general pattern. You got to understand and master your voice, first of all. And so you learn where your set point is. And so there's sort of your normal place. This is my normal place. But when I start talking, a lot of times I want to talk like with a pretty big range in a really quick period of time. Because then I can be like, that's awesome. Or, oh, I don't know about that. That sounds rough. Right? And so now I've established a wide emotional range. And then now this gives me a lot more dynamics in the conversation. And the dynamics are what keep it interesting, and that's why my tonality, and then I'm weaving that with really interesting patterns and stutters and things like that I'm doing intentionally. It's hypnotic language patterns. And the combination of the hypnotic language patterns and that tonality is a lot of what's creating the effect that you guys are feeling when I'm projecting my tonality. But the big thing is, by being able to come in at my normal modal voice and establish then a big range and kind of play in different emotional pockets really fast, that then frees me up to be a lot more liberal and get to, also because I now feel like much more of a real person, they will come off and mirror that, and they'll be a little bit more of a real person. So good question. Yeah, that, and I want to make a key point, right? Like, you got to be able to get in and express your wide range of emotions fast. That's a kind of key thing. That's why it's like, with long lost friend, we'll start high. It's like, it's Mike. Mike who? Yeah, well, you reached out because you were looking for this thing. And it's like, and the pattern interrupt and the wide range. I'm going from like, hey, well, yeah, and then I'm very matter of fact and talking really fast into the transition. And just this type of dynamics, that's going to keep your audience really captivated. See any other questions y'all got? I'm not seeing too much here today. Cool. On that note, then, I'm going to head out today. I appreciate y'all. Close some deals, change some lives, make some money. If you guys are wanting support, we got some opportunities that we're hiring for right now. Just drop a scale in the comments. If you're looking for support building out your sales team, we also have some sales reps that are badasses, ready to rock and roll. That can be a great fit for your opportunity. So put a scale in the comments. I appreciate you guys. This was short, sweet, but I hope you guys got a lot out of it. We definitely dropped some gems here. So go back and check that out. If you guys are live, let me know. If you're on the replay, let me know. And also, I always like to encourage y'all, put your biggest takeaway in the comments. That way you can go back, reference it, you can document your learning, and you can be the best you. So, great. Close some deals, change some